huge difference between being productive and being busy. Being busy is having a great deal to do. Being productive is actually being able to produce something in alignment with your goal. The reality is, because we live in such a busy and a fast-paced world with so many expectations and responsibilities, we walk around and we wear busyness like a badge of honor. And that has to stop. Busyness keeps us going, keeps us overwhelmed, keeps us frustrated, and honestly, busyness keeps us frantic, whereas productivity helps us to be more focused on our goals. And when you think of the things that you want to get accomplished in any given day or over your life in general, obviously being busy is not going to get you closer to that goal. For me personally, I walked around focused on being busy. If I could just check a thing off my to-do list, I knew I was busy and that meant I did something. But it wasn't until I adopted the idea of focusing on productivity and not busyness that I was actually able to have something to show for what it was that I was working on. You see, with busyness, you're like, all right, I want to start a business. And it's like you go on and you're like, I'm going to start this business, but I'm just going to read all about starting a business. And I'm going to scroll social media and watch people who start a business. That keeps you busy, right? But are you actually able to start a business? But what productivity would look like is like, I want to start a business. So these are the 5 steps that I'm going to follow that narrow down to get me closer to starting my business. So I'm going to hire a coach. I'm going to do the research. I'm going to find my ideal audience. I'm going to figure out what I want to sell. And then I'm going to showcase my business. There's a huge difference between just being busy and actually being productive. And so much like many people come and ask me, I'm sure you're wondering, how do I go from simply being busy to actually having something to show for the work that I'm doing? And I just want to share one simple strategy with you today that will help you to increase your productivity and to decrease that busyness and overwhelm. Being busy keeps you so crazy, so frantic, so overwhelmed, and less productive. And so in order to increase your productivity, you got to think about how you can get in control of your day. You see, the most productive people in the world control their day instead of allowing their day to control them. And unfortunately, as busy people, we just kind of let our day happen to us, and we're controlled by these to-do lists or all these busy, tasks that we have to kind of just let happen. But instead, we have to choose to be more intentional. And the way that you go about this is to learn to identify the tasks that are going to get you closer to your big goal. Okay, that is the number one step you have to take. So what choices, what tasks, what decisions can you make that will get you closer to producing what you'd like to produce? So, for example, if you're wanting to start a business, it may not be scrolling social media for an hour. That one task may be something that you need to say no to, but it may be scrolling social media until you find a coach that you desire to hire to work with to get your business off the ground. It may be reading your first business book to understand how to lay the groundwork or the foundation. It may be paying to go to a conference, right? There's a total difference about saying yes to everything, because that's what busyness teaches us, right? Busyness teaches us we have to say yes to everything. We have to be everything to everybody. Where productivity teaches us that we have to narrow in and focus on the most important tasks that are going to lead us to our long-term goal. Knowing this, I want you to think of your big goal. What is the one thing that you want to be productive in? Do you want to be more productive in getting your business off the ground? Do you want to be more productive in creating your online course? Do you want to be more productive in writing your book? Do you want to be more productive at work on the big project that you're working on? What is your big goal? And then I want you to ask yourself what choices you're making each day or what steps you're taking each day that are in direct alignment with that big goal. And then I want you to take it a step further, and I want you to ask yourself, what choices are you making that are actually interfering with that goal? Maybe you've allowed yourself to believe that they're getting you closer, but the more you recognize it, they're not. Maybe it's choices that are just total distractions that have nothing to do with the goal. And I want you to learn to unapologetically say no to the things that don't serve you or that big picture goal. Again, like I mentioned earlier, we live in such a busy world, and so busyness is like this badge of honor that we have to wear. And because of it, we adopt this belief that we have to say yes to everything, or that we have to be everything to everybody. And I'll be the first one to tell you that when you try to do everything, or when you try to be everything, you actually end up less effective than if you just hone in and focus on the most important task, that one thing that needs to get accomplished. Being busy is trying to be good at every single thing, while being productive is accepting that you can really put your focus on one and be great at that one thing. Being productive allows you to make steps every single day that push you one step closer to your big goal. Where being busy just kind of keeps you in this hamster wheel, in this cycle where you're just spinning and not really getting any closer to your goal at all. The good news is you get to decide, do you want to just be busy or do you actually want to produce something? If you make the decision that productivity is your focus and that's something that you want to adopt, you got to take that next step, and you have to be willing to say no to the things that don't serve you, no to the things that don't align with your big picture goal, and no to the things that are just distractions from it all together. When you adopt this as a regular practice, you'll notice that for every no you say to that, you're leaving room to say yes to the things that get you closer to where you want to be. So I challenge you this week to identify your big goal, to identify what choices, decisions, and ideas and steps that you have to take to get you closer to that big goal, and be willing and open to say no to every single thing else. And I want you to watch how much your productivity actually improves.